sort of feel is that an API which allows you to connect some kind of identifier with, special state would be useful. And I think that the browser sort of path was clearly one way to do that. There's maybe you might want to look at some generalizations of that, or narrow it down in some aspects. So I call that rather vaguely identity API, but we could change that. And then the thing which we haven't talked about at all, which I haven't even seen like good demos of or good quasi-specs out, is the general problem with all this stuff is that people do want to operate on multiple devices, right? So there has to be some kind of syncing facility, and actually think that through properly is actually what sort of set of the browser environment can safely be synced so you don't lose all of your authentication and session information. That's going to be pretty tricky, and I haven't heard any discussion of that. But that was discussed, something that a lot of people wanted, so that's why I kept it in the draft charter. I think of all things, that's the most likely to keel over and not be done. So we just call that identity.
Do you mind if I
sync? Go for it.
Oh, but I'm sorry, you wanted to say something first.
Oh, I was just going to ask,
Sorry.
how does what you're doing with the user picking email address relate to the account chooser work that Eric Sachs from Google has done?
Right, that's a great question. So the account chooser work, as best as I understand it, and Dirk or other Google folks, please correct me if I misstate, is a meta approach to various identity protocols that is keyed on email address. So the account chooser could use browser ID, and we're talking to Google about the possibility of that being one of the options, or it can use OpenID, or it can use SAML, a number of other protocols, and it's an attempt to have a unified UX for an identity system that delivers an email address.
Now, I'm going to speak for Google here. The current state of the account chooser work is a non-federated account picker. That is to say, it's the user's set of accounts they have with a particular site. They are working on figuring out how to turn it into a federated account picker, which in the current state of the art would require a server component that would act as the sort of list of your available accounts, which could maybe, with lift techniques, we could move it into the browser. And in that case, it would be very analogous to what we've been trying to do with browser ID, which is to say a user space list of the accounts that you